So I play Robert Dudley, who was the favourite of the Queen. He was part of the court and part of the Privy Council and the Master of the Horse. And he was the favourite of the Queen, and they'd known each other for all their lives. They were childhood friends from the age of 8 or so, I think, and had kind of, to some degree, grown up together, and in some ways suffered together. They'd both been in the Tower at the same time and both gone through their own hardships and had this kind of bond from a young age. And he's, compared to other men in the court, he's kind of the one male figure who manages throughout to sustain this kind of true romantic love for another character without having some kind of agenda on the outside. I guess she was known as the Virgin Queen, so people didn't know whether or not they actually had sex, but it was pretty clear to everyone that, you know, they were very close and they were lovers to whatever degree, people don't know. But she was definitely his favourite, and he spent a lot of time with her and in her bedchamber, and that caused friction with other people. They were furious that Dudley, who kind of wasn't seen as a noble, had this intimacy with her and had a way in to her insight from a point of view that they didn't. They could kind of work her with their politics all they liked, but he had her ear in a way that they didn't in bed. And I think, yeah, that definitely wound people up the wrong way, like Cecil, who Guy plays. There was kind of, as far as they could get, there was an intimacy which only Dudley had with her, which was unique and singular to him and their relationship. And what the makeup team have done throughout, but especially with her, is incredible. I remember the first time I think I went in for my, hair fitting or beard fitting, whatever it was. She was there as well, having, I think, the pox being put onto her face, and I sat in there for about 2 hours, and she was on the other side of the room, and I had no idea it was her, and only met after. So yeah, I mean, it's incredible what they've done to her and the different stages. She's pretty unrecognisable. It's pretty amazing what they've done. It looks incredible. It's incredible that she's done this as a first film, the size and the scale of it. There's so many components and so many things to think about just on a film set as it is, before you even think about the story, the technical sides of it, and the costume and the makeup and all those different areas for her to handle. And having her step into it, only previously having worked in theatre, is such a huge challenge and such an incredible thing for her to been able to do so skillfully. She's brilliant at handling and navigating that side of it all, but also just on a level of working with actors, she's done that, for so many years now. She's brilliant to talk to. She's brilliant speaking to you. She has such an incredible grasp of who your character is and the world that surrounds them. She knows it back to front. She's just been brilliant. I guess one fun part of doing this for a job is you have to learn particular skills for whoever you're playing, or from whatever time period, whether that's a soldier and learning to fire a gun, or for this fencing and horse riding. It's a perk of the job that you get to go and pick up these things that you wouldn't otherwise necessarily run into. There was no nobleman boot camp, but suddenly when you find yourself in these beautiful costumes that kind of make you stand in a particular way, and in these beautiful sets that kind of bring something out of you, and you've picked up bits and pieces, and you've done, whatever you needed to read and whatever you needed to watch, and you've done your horse riding and your fencing, you kind of, it kind of seeps in somehow.
「隣り合う国に君臨する2人の女王メアリーとエリザベス」国をかけた陰謀が2人を襲う。
There is news. Your cousin Mary has returned to rule in Scotland. She is formidable.
My dear cousin Elizabeth, I hope we might meet in person, that I might embrace you. But ruling side by side, we must do so in harmony, not through a treaty drafted by men lesser than ourselves.
My dear cousin, let our nations cherish each other as we would, two kingdoms united. You would have me depose the sister monarch.
It is either civil war there or civil war here.
All I have done is try to unify this land. Do not play into their hands.
You would do well to watch your work. Your beauty, your bravery. Now I see there is no cause for envy.
But they're trying to usurp my crown. But I will be the woman she is not.
同じ立場で理解し合える唯一の存在。それでも運命が2人を翻弄する。
Should you murder me, and you murder your queen?
2人の女王メアリーとエリザベス